G'day Couch Critics, and today we're going to be chatting about the two latest expansion teams in the A-League, Western United and Macarthur Bulls, top of the table after 5 rounds of the A-League. Surprised? Let's get into it. Alright, so
Macarthur top, 13, Western United 12 points. This is at the time of filming, so this might change depending when this video comes out.
Although with COVID, who knows if we'll get another game in before New Year's.
Before the season end.
Okay, so people's opinions, and I'm sure many of you guys watching this video don't like the two latest expansion teams. Western United, bit of a farce. They promised a stadium by season 3.
This is season 3.
COVID willing, sure, but it's not here. They've got a dirt road. Lots of fans are angry about that, particularly your old NSL buddies who say, well, this is just more fake football, this is more broken promises, and more clubs being created out of thin air for nothing. So people really don't like Western United, the travelling Western United. Then you've got Macarthur Bulls, the most recent expansion side. Another Sydney team. Oh, what the hell?
They have an identity. A clear identity. But yeah, I think for me, I don't care about the Bells. Yeah, that's
crappy stadium. Oh, it's a good stadium actually. It should be good. Crappy field.
Yeah, that issue and the prices of tickets is an absolute joke.
So
for the home fans, let alone away fans.
Both these teams have minimal fans. Like Western United are lucky to crack 5,000 at a home game.
5,000? You're generous.
Yeah, and Macarthur, their home games are really poorly attended as well. I don't think they've cracked 5,000 at a home game yet, have they? Except for when the Wanderers took like 3,000 people.
I don't think we would count last year because I still think they had the whole season a cap on the stadiums. But last week was their first game, and I wrote it down, but I'm not going to open it up. I think they only got 3,000.
Yeah, it's not good enough. Their prices. Okay, so here's the situation with the two clubs, and 5 rounds into this A-League season, both of them sit top of the league, first and second in the league. They're both playing, I wouldn't call it attractive football.
They're playing winning football.
But they're winning games. Yeah. And I think football can be played in many ways, and if you are getting 3 points, then you're playing the right type of football. I don't think a team... Sure, it's nice to watch nice, beautiful football, but at the end of the day, I'm happy when my team gets 3 points.
Yeah, especially when you've played bad. There's something about playing bad and still winning that feels good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be great if everyone could play sexy football all the time. But the reality is, doesn't not necessarily work out like that.
So it is interesting, isn't it, that both these teams, Western United under John Aloisi and Macarthur under Alan Stajic, Milicic.
Yeah.
Right. Ante Milicic.
Yeah.
They both play this similar style of football, which is. It's come out recently just about, is possession actually valued in the A-League? Both these teams will sit back and give the other team a heap of the ball. They'll defend deep on their line, and then they've got creative players, and they hit you on the counter, they score a goal, and then they shut up shop. Western United have had 4 1-0 wins in a row.
Yeah.
It's some suspect goals, but they hit you on the counter.
Yeah, and whatever works, I guess. Yeah. And I mean, I think... A lot of people have been critical of John Aloisi, but he's getting results. He beat Melbourne City, beat Adelaide United, but Adelaide haven't won any games, but it's still a good team. And City, getting winning in City, I think, is always a great result. So they're getting the results, even though they're a bit of a circus, travelling around everywhere, playing in front of small crowds, but then also we're not getting particularly great crowds in general. But I think the two teams everyone loves to hate, I think it's just given them just a little bit extra. I'm not saying I hate them, but they've given them just a little bit extra reason to hate them.
So I guess it kind of poses this question. Were they good choices? Are they actually the right teams? Have they got merit to be an expansion sides? Because we've seen expansion teams come and go. Gold Coast played some okay football, made the finals one year, but were an absolute shambles off the pitch because of Clive Palmer. Northern Queensland, North Queensland Fury. Again,
for them it was just
the
money. For them it was the money and owners pulling out, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. We've had
the New Zealand Knights.
Or sure, expansion.
Foundation team.
team,
Okay, fair.
But again, they were a bit of a basketball
Melbourne
case.
Heart / City.
So Melbourne Heart spent a lot of hard time, and then City came in. Would we say that's an expansion? Well, Heart were definitely an expansion team. They're technically still here, but if it wasn't for the City money, I don't think they would be. We were still in the period where a club would be destroyed. We're now in a period of Australian football where we've kind of gone, actually, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't just kill off a club. I think these clubs are here to stay.
Yeah. I think it's more. Unfortunately, there's a bit more to it than just dumping having an extra team. I think the benefits are giving more youngsters an opportunity. 2 extra team means more opportunities for Australian players, and that's a great thing. But the choices were quite suspect. We all know it was Foxtel pushing it. They wanted an extra team in Sydney, Melbourne.
Yep.
The expansion bidding process was a bit of a farce because really at the end of the day, the only consideration was going to be that extra team in the 2 biggest cities in our country.
Sure.
What do you define as worse? I mean, in terms of an identity, Western United are far worse. Like, it's such a vagueness of what is Western. You know, if you're a casual fan, you're thinking, oh, they play in Perth, do they? I said, no, they were playing Western Melbourne. But they don't actually play in Western Melbourne that often. Actually, they don't play in Western Melbourne. They play in Geelong, which is west of Melbourne, but a completely different city. They play in the centre of Melbourne. They play north,
they train in the north.
West of Melbourne at Ballarat, and then they play down south in Tasmania. So a bit all over the place.
Sure.
When they get this stadium built, I think they'll be absolutely fantastic.
And I do want to argue that as well, because not only, sure, the stadium hasn't been built yet, but also most of the suburb that they were supposed to be based in hasn't been built yet. Tarnee still, it's a
small town, yeah.
It's at the moment, but the future will be big. I think their future will be big.
Yeah, and I think getting over the first 5 years, it's going to be a slog with the fans. But I think once that stadium will be fantastic. And we're in very early days of getting it built. Yeah, they're building a road, but that means they're actually, they are committed. You don't build a road for nothing. Well, I mean, I guess you could build a road for nothing.
Yes.
But then also not playing in the big area. I mean, a fine example of, in the NFL, the New England Patriots, who represent such a large region, actually playing quite a small town, about 30 k's out of Boston. But still sell out 70,000 tickets every week.
Sure.
But
Americans, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, when it comes to sport, they're incredibly passionate about their teams. But I think it's a small area, and I think it will build over time, hopefully. We have seen in the past in Australia mistakes of building stadiums, so back in the old days, 50 years ago, the VFL, then the AFL, bought a plot of land down in South East Melbourne to build Waverley Park, like this big brand new stadium. It's going to be 150,000 seats because they're having issues with the MCG. I'm getting sidetracked. And the urban sprawl of Melbourne didn't kind of pan out how it planned for them. So
you're saying Tarnee might not?
Well, we don't know. We don't know. Like we say, there's going to be an urban sprawl this way, and it most possibly will, but it might not turn out how they.
There's not really anywhere else for Melbourne to go at this point.
No,
so
it can't go south.
But
yeah.
Sure. So I think that's the thing. Western, they don't have an identity now, but they will.
Yeah, I think a rebrand will happen one day. I think it's got to happen because the name is just so bland.
I think they should have gone with Wyndham.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like it's the area.
Yeah, and I think it's the council area. Yeah, so
Western
Western Melbourne.
It's a crappy name.
Western Melbourne, at least. I think it's that might happen again. I think it's got to happen in the future. I think with MacArthur, it's very clear what area they're representing. That's Southwest Sydney, MacArthur, Liverpool area, which is great. That's defined. Ticket prices though, a joke. We're talking about $50. I think I saw something online, $50. Might have been in the active area, so I think that was about $35, $40 for a normal adult ticket. Come on, the cheapest ticket, $35.
So is that because the rental of the stadium is too expensive?
No, apparently the rumour is the deal cost them $1.
Okay, so it does make sense.
And they jack up away. Sydney FC were having a big sook about paying $50 for an away fan to sit in their bay, which is like a joke. Like $50 for your cheapest ticket is just not on. I think there should be some system in place to regulate the prices of tickets, but that's not the case at the moment. And I think they're kicking themselves in the butt, MacArthur, by having such an exorbitant price for tickets.
It just sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? I guess maybe their argument is, well, we need to make money as a club, so we'll raise the prices. But in doing that, you actually don't sell as many. So drop the prices and you can sell out the stadium.
If you want to make money in football, well, I mean, if you want to make money, don't buy a football club. It's not necessarily going to work out the way you want it. You're going to be losing money. So I think that's their big killer. And I think they did, well, both teams did come in during COVID. MacArthur in the middle of the pandemic. So that was always going to be a bit of a challenge. But they're not short of fans. Like, there's such a big area. So many people playing football.
Yep.
And, you know, I think they'll improve. I think it's only a matter of time. I don't buy this argument of, you know, there's too many teams in Sydney or Melbourne. You know, combine that population, it's well over half of this country. So, but it's about defining a location. Western United have done bad. MacArthur, they've got work to do.
Yeah. Okay, so
we've talked a lot.
To wrap up this video, then, 5 weeks ago we predicted the A-League ladder, and I think we both had Western up there. I don't think we had MacArthur up there.
I had them in the 6, so I think I went all the Sydney and Melbourne teams in the top 6, and I think because there've been a lot of things going on in the off season, on the pitch in their trials and behind closed doors, that I thought they're going to struggle. But I was kind of thinking earlier, you know, I think they've got a really great squad on paper, and they could go all the way. Then all that stuff happened. I thought, we'll just go 6. You know, I think they'll be there or thereabouts. But I'm not particularly surprised about MacArthur. So Western.
Well, let's go 5 weeks in. Do you think one of them wins the premiership?
No.
No, you still think there's...
No, I still think the two actual Melbourne teams, I think, will be fighting out for it.
I think Western might do it. Having seen the football...
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but if
they just have such a good squad. John Aloisi aside, I
people would be hating it if John Aloisi won a grand final, but I don't think he's particularly bad.
I'm not saying they'll win the championship. I'm saying they'll win the premiership.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure.
I think John Aloisi isn't as bad as people think. And 2, they just have a fantastic team. Like, Diamante, Leo Lacroix looks unreal. People like Josh Risdon and Connor Payne is an A-League
Josh
classic.
Risdon's probably in potential Socceroos form.
He probably should be in front of Ryan Grant at this point in time, hands down.
I mean, on form, definitely.
Then you've got Wenzel Halls is starting to fire. They look good. I think they've actually shown us that they could be here for the long run. So, interesting 2 teams that people love to hate in the A-League, but I think they're...
Do you hate them?
I couldn't be bothered, to be honest.
I know some Western Sydney fans who really hate MacArthur, but I'm feeling like... I don't really know any MacArthur fans, even if they won.
Yeah, if they start winning, maybe, but...
What happens if Western United end up hosting the grand final? Record low crowd.
It'll be at Amy Park, their home ground.
In front of 3,000 fans.
No, thanks so much for watching, guys. We hope you enjoy this video, and so the cat is gonna knock the camera back.
The cat's rubbing against the poles for the holding up the phone. But anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like. We love you all. We'll see you in the next one.
Merry Christmas.
You flippin' flophead.